Hello and welcome to Yonkers Roundup, the public access program that films in the Yonkers Public Library. Today my guest is Prince Robinson, who is a lifelong Democrat who is running to be the first African-American mayor of Yonkers. And if he was successful, he would be the youngest ever mayor of Yonkers. He is not running on the Democratic line. He's collecting signatures for his very own Unity Party line. Prince, thank you for being on the show.
Hey, good afternoon.
Nice to meet you, Prince. I just want to know a little bit about you besides what I said there, a little bit of your history here in Yonkers, if you don't mind.
Okay, so I moved to Yonkers roughly in 2008. And so Yonkers basically transformed me into the man that I am today. I had worked in several restaurant businesses, and I've been in the entertainment business, which I've had to deal with a lot of betterment and growth.
That's very nice. So I assume one of the issues that would be of concern to you would be about maybe affordable housing and homelessness in Yonkers?
Yes, most definitely.
What are your views there?
Along the lines of affordable housing, I don't just want to say affordable. I want to say affordable. You want to make it clear it's affordable to who. The word is thrown around affordable, and then some people realize it's actually not affordable to them, and by any means or circumstances, no matter if they're working, not even if they're working two jobs.
Maybe like I think it's kind of like they have on a lot of the housing. It's like a 30% of your income type of thing. You qualify based upon how much you actually earn.
Yes.
You were talking along that lines, I assume.
Yes, most definitely.
And it may be kind of like a workforce housing where somebody could actually work one job and be able to afford a place in Yonkers.
Accurate. So we want more affordable housing for more people. Maybe if there's also kind of way, rent freezing so it's stable for people that have been here for the years, and this is what they're used to. They're paying the taxes, they're paying their rent, and it should be along the same lines. It shouldn't be spiked so dramatically. They're forced to leave their house. That's
a tough prospect. It's not for nothing. Yonkers is a growing city, and they're saying now, what is it, the fourth largest city, but it'll soon be the third with the way it's rapidly growing, and Rochester's not moving forward so fast. But do you really think you'd have a good shot of having some kind of rent controls?
I would say yes. I really stand. I'll take a firm stance, and I'm really a big advocate on making sure that the Yonkers could grow, but also stay with the same familiar faces. You don't just want people that don't care.
You don't want to see people pushed out.
Exactly.
I see. So with I believe it's called the Sheridan Community Center downtown. They may be closing in July. I believe there's been several extensions of, or not several, I'd say more than a handful of extensions, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. So if they don't get another 6 months extension, I'm not even sure where the people are going, but if you were mayor, how would you deal with the, I know some people have suggested a drop-in center. What would you do to help the people that are on the street that are homeless in Yonkers?
God willing, Spanos, he's been doing a great job. There's a time for reinforcements. I would look to my county leader, George Latimer. I would look to make several attempts to reach Cuomo and see what type of resources can we use. Can we pull in more to save that place? Because it is a staple, regardless of the activity that might occur around it. It's still a staple for people that are depending on a place to go. So yes, maybe a drop-in center, but if we could bring in reinforcements to keep the sharing community open, then by all means necessary. This is something.
Mean more services when you say reinforcements?
More service, but also help and awareness. Like if Cuomo's on the front lines for it, if Latimer's on the front lines for it, then more of a chance. Not saying that it's a guarantee, but more of a chance it would probably be saved.
Yes. Well, they're getting ready to. Believe it or not, they're putting an escalator in at Penn Station. That's it's going to look nice, but it's going to be over $500 million, $670-some million. I heard it'd be nice if there was just a little something for Yonkers schools or the homeless, the funding that kind of
just
thing.
A little something, right?
Yes, I hear you. So with the schools also, and believe it or not, I've heard the superintendent explain there's a lot of families that were homeless in Yonkers, got moved to another community, and now the city has to bus the students or pay for their busing type of thing. They're back to their schools. But I assume education would be a big issue with you?
Education is crucial, very important to me and what I'm standing for. That's something that is big. The funding is very needed for, and we have to stand up for these kids because the kids, they're going to be the future. The future next. How can we get more money? Like I said, I believe you guys had another interview with Karen, and she was right on the money with that, where she said, there's 200,000 plus of us. We have to be able to unify and figure out ways without going to making calls up, every 5 minutes to Albany. We have to be able to figure out how can we do something within us, between the community ourselves.
I see. It's something that people complain about constantly. It's just a yearly beg fest up in Albany, and some people say it's and I guess they're right. The formula is not as just to Yonkers as some other communities. The other communities might argue we're a very depressed area, but how can I say? It's a shame that with a $1.3 billion budget, we can't give the students the services they need. Now, granted, we need more help from Albany, but it's just a shame.
And quite possibly, it might not be the best source. It might take a little time, but maybe who says we can't maybe work out a deal, a partnership with Uber, with Lyft to specifically get these kids, to certain places. If we, might be a possibility
out of the busing transportation.
Yeah.
Well, Prince, I can't think of any other questions right now off the top of my head.
Okay.
But this is a time we like to give people a chance to speak directly to the audience. And if there's an event you have coming up, a fundraiser, you'd like people to volunteer to help you collecting these signatures, or something I should have asked, or something I should have covered, the audience is yours, sir.
I feel the Yonkers Roundup was very great to me, treated me like a special guest. Keep supporting Yonkers Roundup. I thank John and Delphine. My Instagram is Prince for Mayor. On Twitter, it's PR for Yonkers. My main goal is making Yonkers a greater Yonkers overall, for all.
I believe that's your campaign slogan.
That is my campaign.
Greater Yonkers is your slogan.
I added for all, just
for all. Okay.
Yeah. So the whole goal is unity, and for all.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you're out there. You're trying to be a part of the or you are being a part of the conversation. Not trying. You are being a part of the conversation, and I'm glad that you're putting yourself out there to go forward. And a lot of people sit and they complain and they're not happy about this or that, but you're actually trying to collect signatures to be a part of the conversation and maybe even possibly be mayor.
Yes, please listen. If just run. If you're not happy, if you think all politicians are the same, you might think I'm the same. You might say politicians lie. Run. This is your opportunity. You have a chance to create new possibilities for the future. And once again, thank you to Brian and Yonkers Roundup.
All right. And that's about it for Yonkers Roundup. I'd like to thank John Rivera, who is the producer of the show, and Delphine Husler, who is the researcher for the show and also books guests for us. Thank you so much for watching Yonkers Roundup here at the Yonkers Public Library.